For the Packers. Everything else pretty even. The free throw line not well traveled in the first half. Each team with a three-pointer. And right now we're going to go talk to DeSmet head coach Marv McHugh. Lee, take it away.
21 of their 29 points, so Armour's getting some work done inside, and I guess you talked about that a little bit, and just, I guess, what was your message on that first?
Well, from the tapes we saw going in, what we saw scouting, Larson hadn't scored that much from that high post area, and you know, they ran a little high-low, and he got a couple. We were sagging off and trying to help a little more on Sanders. They hit him, and he hit a couple shots out around the free throw line, and then basically we just broke down when their guards penetrated. Our post players stepped up, and that opened up the pass lane. Larson got a couple backdoor too.
Where do you find yourself getting going offensively?
We didn't move the basketball worth a darn. We had a 3-4 point lead, you know, and early in the first quarter there, and we just came down and didn't move the basketball. We had 5 shots where we took 1 pass and a shot.
Okay, thank you very much, Marv. We'll see how the second half plays out. We'll be right back for the second half. DeSmet and Armour in this State B. You're watching Keloland TV.
There's your score as we get set for the third quarter. Some of these scoring individually. Nobody for DeSmet with more than 6 points. Dadenbring has 6. Dobson has 6. McNames with 6. They are the leaders. Barry Hine has a 3-pointer and a deuce for 5 points total. On the Armour side, Brandon Sanders with 11. He is their leading scorer, 24 a game. Jeremy Larson has 10 in the first half. He only averages 9, but Larson is playing an excellent ball game thus far. Tony Noor with 4. Chris Peters has 2, and Matt Sparks with 2 to add up to 29 for Armour, 28 for DeSmet. And as we get underway, we will find the original starting lineups back on the floor. Ledebor, Peters. This is Austin Ledebor, Tony Noor, Brandon Sanders, and Jeremy Larson for Armour. Dobson, Hine, Dadenbring, McNames, and Ross Cruz in the middle for the Bulldogs. Ledebor wouldn't get it to go, but there's his running mate, Chris Peters. Gets Armour started in the third, 31-28.
Sanders started that possession and stayed that possession in a total high post situation, so that helps open it up down low, which is where, of course, Ledebor scored.
McHugh wanted him to be a little more patient, and that is probably not the best shot in the world. But they made more than one pass, so hey.
Not too bad. 15-footer. He'll take that from Hine.
Stripped away by McNames, and Dobson comes up with it. Josh will run it to the corner for the break. Oh, they're going to count that one on the spin, and Chris Peters has got to be wondering what he's got to do to pick up a charge.
All 3 fouls against Chris Peters are because Josh McNames was going to the bucket. Now, that one looked, of the other 2 and of the 3, that one had much more of a look of a charge than did the first 2.
And that is exactly what Burnell Glanzer thought down there on the Packer bench as McNames goes to the line for his first attempt of the night. Josh, 71% on the season. 9 in the ball game for McNames, and he ties it up at 31. Just underway in the third quarter. Armour led it by 1 after 1, led it by 1 at the half. Sanders down low. Picks up where he left off. 13 so far for Brandon Sanders.
Sanders working low box that time. He's moved in and out, up and down quite a bit.
And Kuzler's going to call the block again. This one's going to go on Tony Noor.
Like Noor was just kind of standing there and got ran into. Pretty much what happened. They thought it was going to be charged.
Big Ross Cruz will step up. 1 out of 2 from the line in the first half. On the shooting foul, he'll get the second.
I think Armour in this game, Tom, has done a pretty good job of keeping control of the basketball, because DeSmet averages 13 steals a game. And all in all, not bad for the Pack, I don't think.
Packers by 1, 6:30 to play, third quarter. Sanders, nice pass down low to Peters, but it wouldn't go. Ross Cruz tears it down, and McNames will push. 16-footer, got it. 5 quick ones for Josh McNames. He's got 11. And there's the pressure. And there's the way to break it with Austin Ledamore. First points of the game for the sophomore. Armour back up by 1. McNames, and I think they're going to get Chris Peters again.
Chris is upset with that one. He was moving on that one. The last one, I thought, where he didn't argue all that much, was more of a charge than this one. Pretty clear. Peters on the move, and he has to try and guard McNames, and all 4 of his fouls came on McNames going to the basket.
So that's 4 on Peters.
Justin Peters now on McNames.
Armour up by 1. 5:30 on the clock in the third. This is Hine. Little pinball came right back to Barry, and he's struggling a little bit, frustrated with himself.
And not a very good shooting night for Hine. He had that 3-pointer in the second quarter, and he hit one other basket in the second period. But other than that, Hine has had a little trouble trying to find a hoop.
24 in the ball game to replace Chris Peters.
Good pass.
Sanders has 15.
Very fine inlet pass.
Armour back up by 3 at 37-34. Marv McCune was yelling weak side, but it was just a little too late. Game's falling away, and no call. Brandon Sanders on the push back the other way, and it'll stay there as it goes off of Dobson.
End of the first quarter in the last AA game. Roosevelt 17, Mitchell 13. End of 1. Rough Riders by 4 over the Colonels.
Jason Peters gets behind the dish to the corner, but it's taken away by Barry. Nice behind the back, and he makes sure on this one. And Barry has 7. Cuts the lead back to 1.
No turnovers. That's what Armour coach Bernal Glanzer told us yesterday. That's what made him a little upset when we talked at halftime. No turnovers. There's another.
Hine the beneficiary again. 4 quick ones for Barry, and DeSmet pulls into the lead at 38-37. Peters back the other way, and they're going to get him for the travel.
I know Coach Glanzer wanted a timeout, but you think he saved it till now because this is a TV timeout. Our television timeout comes at a good time for Armour.
4:06 to play in the third.
During the break, Tom said their offense is their defense. They, meaning the Bulldogs. There's the defense with the steal, the pass ahead, and Hine was able to lay right in his second quick basket just like that off the steal to make it a 1-point contest. And I was watching Coach Glanzer there, and he had his hands together with about 4:15 left on the clock, and he knows that the first dead ball at 4 is the TV timeout, so he put his hands right back down, waited 10 seconds, and got the timeout he wanted.
He's been in the tournament a few times, hasn't he? Tannenbring back in the ball game for the Bulldogs. McNames and Hine working it on the perimeter. Here's Josh. Jason Peters on him. Barry Hine feels like he's got the hot hand, and it's just not going for Barry, but Dobson fouled on his way back up.
This will be on Larson, number 44. Larson cut a lot of the wrist. We'll look again. Watch 44. He's behind, a man behind the play, so no doubt about that foul as Dobson was trying to go back up. Just the first, though, on Jeremy Larson.
Dobson at 14 points a game. He has 7 now in this one. DeSmet up by 3 at 40-37. 3:30 to play. Third quarter, there's your score from the second quarter down at Sioux Falls Arena. The defending state champion Colonels and the Rough Riders.
And Mitchell scored 4 quick ones to tie it up in the early stages of the second.
The winner will play Rapid City Stevens as Sanders gets loose. That's a 2.
Sanders had that little hop. When that ball left his fingertips, he had that little shooter's I know it's going in hop.
The rhythm. Back to a 1-point game. Armour down 1 and McNames can't get it to go. Ledabor starts it the other way. Matt Sparks is back in the lineup for Armour. Oh! Larson goes down hard.
Cruz. Ross Cruz on the bump. McNames came over to try to help out defensively, and you see him, number 23, but not before the bump. And Larson hit the floor a little hard, but Jeremy was going down already before McNames got there.
Third foul on Ross Cruz. Wouldn't go for Noor. Knocked around. I think it's going to be off the Packers. .240 to play, third quarter. DeSmet up by 1. Bulldogs in the maroon with the ball. Dobson had excellent rhythm going into that one, and he knocks it down. 11 points now for Jeremy Dobson, and it's a 4-point cushion.
4 points has been really the largest swing.
Yep. Ledabor the other way. Gets him back within 1. 5 points in the quarter, 5 total for Austin Ledabor.
Real good flow, real good pace to this game right now.
McNames on the scoop, and he got fouled inside by
Sanders, Brandon Sanders. First in the game for Sanders, but watch the little man scoop underneath there, and to be able to drive through people kind of like that, you need just a strong set of legs, and that's of course what Josh McNames has, and you need to be in very good shape because he is constantly running, constantly on the move.
Just a competitor, hard-nosed, just always wants to put the pressure on you.
I think Josh is also an all-state chorus.
6 in the quarter, 12 in the game for McNames.
Just the most impressive thing about Josh, I think, is he just sees the floor and knows where his teammates are so much better.
Yeah, you
talk about player.
Talk about court generals, court leaders, coaches on the floor, and he really is one. He's not going to be able to catch up with that one, though.
Saying hi to the folks who came to the game.
So Armour dodges that bullet, and the Pack down by 3 will start it again. The freshman, Tony Noor. Darren Larson dogs Jeremy Larson out front. Sanders from deep, and he didn't get the good rhythm on that one, and they're going to get a block on Austin Ledabor as Dobson was on the breakout.
I think there's a little bit of probably more act than actual contact on that exchange from Ledabor. Dobson had the ball, and he was moving up court.
As the first round of the Euro to the Final Four rolls on, the Hilltoppers.
Clem Haskins' old school.
Top of Michigan at halftime. First quarter, the Green Wave is top of BYU in that 8-9 seed matchup. And I believe that's Oklahoma State and Drexel. And the Terps leading Gonzaga out west.
Name their most popular alumnus. Well, they've had 2, one in baseball and one in basketball. No, not in baseball. He didn't go there. Excuse me.
Are you quizzing me?
Yeah.
John Stockton, who are you thinking of?
I'm thinking of a man from Spokane, but he didn't go to Gonzaga. Ryan Sandberg.
Ryan Sandberg. DeSmet up by 3. Dobson falling away, and that was not the shot Marv McCune wanted. He was asking, what are you doing on that one?
Trying to pass it, Coach. Yeah, hands down low. No doubt at Larson with the foul there. And again, it's a pretty good opportunity to watch Sanders move and score and be very productive all over on the offensive side. He can go anywhere and play. Last year with Ryan Van Zee, he was an outside player. This year, a little bit more inside.
Dobson on the reach in as Tony Knorr had him sealed off. And the offensive opportunities, just to follow up on that, just weren't as much last year as for Brandon Sanders, but this year he is the man in the offensive attack. Jason Larson, the errant pass, and this is Dobson on the pushback. It's off of Sanders.
And it's a different offensive attack this year, too. It's more of that motion-type style and non-post. Ryan Van Zee was the type of guy that said, Ryan, go to the low box, we'll pass it around until you get open, and then we'll hit you with it. Much different this year for Armour.
Larson out, Ross Cruz in for DeSmet. The Bulldogs up by 3, 30 seconds to play. Third quarter.
Josh will be able to stay out there all day.
Dribble on that beautiful new floor at the Barnett Center.
First year for that floor.
That's a scary defensive assignment. And Jason Peters rather, was up to the task. And at the end of 3, the Bulldogs on top of the pack by 3, 45-42, back with the fourth after this.